Oh, hello there, Outliers. Niiamah Ashong here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey. We are here on the Outliers Edge Roundtable, where we have three incredible outliers who are here to share their journey, the things that they're creating in the world, and how they stay aligned to themselves as they continue to level up. I want to make sure you get a chance to meet these esteemed guests here. So, why don't we just get started? We'll do that. Pearl, why don't we start with you? Let us know more about you and the game you're currently playing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pearl Mashour. I'm a woman empowerment life coach. And I also host a podcast called Female Fluence.
Mm.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Pearl. I'm excited to play with you here. Um, John, how about you? Let us know more about you and the game you're currently playing.
I'm playing a lot of games. My name's John Pitlick. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm a serial entrepreneur, human performance mentor, and I'm running hard on one of my companies called Elevix, which is a software company.
It's nice. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun today. And then
Mhm.
Tanji, give us a chance to get to know you and the game you're currently playing.
My name is Titanjila. I go by Tanji for short. My podcast was actually started on a whim after going through a really difficult time. It's called Sincerely Tange, and I don't have a business unlike everyone else, but I'm currently getting into the field of working with children's mental health.
Thank you all for like the work you do out in the world. Thank you for bringing that into today's conversation. I'm gonna start us off here because I feel like actually I can feel like my energy be very high, and I want to like actually ground that here with this initial question. And the question I have right now is like each of you are playing a big game in your own right, right? And that game has continued to up level over time. And I'm curious for you, like what's for the game that you're looking at now, like for the growth that you're going to now, what's a belief that you're currently up leveling in order to like help you like really achieve that next goal? All right. What so the way I say is like, what's a belief that you need to up level in order to continue to up level overall? Right? Are y'all down to play with that question? All right, cool. John, let's start off with you, and then we'll go to Pearl, and then Tandy, you can bring it.
Yeah, I think the number one belief as a serial entrepreneur is having faith and being able to believe in things that you can't see in the future, but just knowing that the principles that you are grounded in, like consistency, persistence, the will to win, the servant mentality, having the right mindset on a daily and consistent basis, produces that faith to be able to see things that you can't actually see, but you just have belief and faith that it's going to get there.
Okay, we're gonna keep playing. Pearl, how about you? What's for the game that you're playing right now? Like, what's a belief that's up leveling with you right now?
I think a lot of manifestation for me. I try to work on kind of, I have vision boards and I kind of think ahead and I see myself doing things that I might not be doing, but I know that it's going to happen. I think that really helps me get in that mindset of being positive and believing in myself. And just like along the lines of what John was saying, the mindset and being consistent, I think are just key because you have to believe in what you're either selling or creating or doing. And you have to really believe in yourself that you can do it. The moment that you start doubting yourself is when everything will kind of go down the hill. So,
Thing, right?
That was like just a universal like, yep. That was
Yeah.
everyone's ears like, yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tanji, how about you? What's a belief right now that you're currently up leveling in order to play at your next level?
Belief that I currently have right now is it doesn't matter how you start as long as you start. Um,
Ooh,
a
that's
lot
good.
of a lot of moments I've had in my life I've kind of let fall by the wayside just because I was had a lot of fear of like failing or like looking silly, and I just want to encourage more people to it doesn't matter if you don't have all the tools, like you can always learn all of that on the way. You don't need everything as soon as you start. Just start.
So
Hmm.
like I like this. I like this element here. Let's talk here from the thing about the things that you are starting now, right? Um, I want Yeah, I think it's like this is called Outliers Edge, and I'm really curious about the things that like are putting you out on your edge right now.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like let's have I
Hmm.
like honestly, John, like I just started talking about this in like a podcast or two ago, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, this is really fun. This is like what I really like. We're growing. This is what the real game is. It's like how do we continue
Yeah.
growing? How do we continue navigating the unknown? Less about how do we keep talking about the things that we already know and have. So I like to call it like your sweaty palms project. One of my managers in the past talked about like it's like every day I want to do something that gives me sweaty palms, and so I think about
Yeah.
that here. So it's why don't you, if you could share with us a project, something that you're bringing to life right now that's not quite complete. It probably really excites you, but at the same time, it probably also like scares you a bit. And if it's probably like there's something in it that makes you have to like grow as a person in order to do that. What I'll do now is like I'll put that question in here, and I'll let y'all just talk it out for a little bit, right? So you're gonna see me
Sure.
muted, and let's just see where the conversation goes. At a certain point, I'll unmute and we'll re-navigate, but. Let's start off here. Why don't you share y'all a bit about your Sweaty Palms project? Anyone feel like starting us off?
I'd be happy to start off. Mine is rebranding my podcast. It's now called Your Brand, Your Rules. It was kind of an extension off of or play off of my company, which is a digital business card platform called Elevix. And you would think it's about branding and marketing, but actually it's more about identifying or assessing what your brand is and then activating it and then actually doing it consistently over time. So what makes you unique? What talents and abilities do you have? And how are you applying that and achieving that at a high level? And so I'm bringing thought leaders and different um, people that are thought leaders like yourself to basically show how that they found those unique abilities and are succeeding wildly in the marketplace or in life or on the sports field or whatever the case may be. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really stretched because I'm an owner of a company and different things like that. However, I have a passion for serving and helping other people, and podcast platform has been great, but it's a stretch.
I'll say more to that in just a bit here, John, but I'm going to leave it open for each of y'all to kind of build in. For a bit here, I'm going to take a step back and let three new friends have a conversation about like some of the things that y'all are
Yeah,
building, right? So
thanks. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. So basically for me, I have a lot of different projects that I'm kind of working on, but I think one of the more recent one is that I've been kind of approached or told that I should look into like doing more speaking, like motivational speaking. And so that's something that I'm kind of excited about, a little anxious about. So I'm looking into kind of doing some training and researching to do that along, in the future. So it's kind of, yes, I get the sweaty palms, but I get excited at the same time. So it's kind of, I'm looking forward to see what kind of adventure that brings on for me.
Good time there. Tanji, how about you?
For me, since I don't run a business, I'm actually in the process of switching careers. I'm actually going to be working at an autism clinic. My goal is to get my foot in the door, like I said, with mental health. Um, I've had a lot of mental health issues like growing up, and especially with like within the Black community. With me having a son, I noticed that when it comes to our Black men, there are a lot of generational trauma. There's a lot of emotional stunt like growth. So I really want to work with that and help. Not get rid of it because you can't really get rid of everything, but I would like to
Hmm.
ease the tension with that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel that there. I think like one of the things that I do see is like y'all play for a game of impact. Like like none of y'all like just trying to just do like something like small here. Like how do we actually like continue to impact people as it goes along? And John, I'm gonna just say thank you because you gave me a chance to see something that I didn't know about myself earlier. You said we bring on, and for your podcast here, thought leaders like yourself. And I realized as you said that, I'm like, me, a thought leader? But I'm not even doing the thought leadership thing. And I want to be real with you because like there's a lot that I'm doing right now, but it was, and I'm usually very clear that like, yes, I'm out there leading. But when you said that to me, I realized like I hadn't actually taken the time to look at myself through that lens, you know. And
Mm,
I want to make sure I'm saying this out loud because you know I think we're going to be talking about some of the things we're trying to build and all those things here. But I think I know Coach, you said we often compare how others look on the outside with how we feel on the inside, you know?
mm.
And so I want to make sure that like I share that as we have this conversation here. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet.
You talked about also being like you're like I'm really stretched right now. And I'm really curious how feel free to elaborate on that. Like you can like help us see a little bit
Yeah.
more of that. But I'm really curious about how you all like continue to deal with the stretchiness. And if you're not stretched, or if if you have something around it that works really well for you, share that as well. But I'm hearing like Pearl, you're like, all right, yeah, like I'm about to bring speaking into the mix, you know? And Tanji's
Hmm.
like, all right, yeah. So there's a whole generation for a whole group of people here that I'm gonna do my part with. I'm really curious about how y'all navigate stretch in a way that like stays aligned to you. So anyone want to take up on that?
I mean, I'd be happy to start. I think I've probably the poster child for being stretched. I don't know, I have this like clinically insane mindset about stretching to insane levels. Um, to give an example, after investing 2.5, 3 years ago into my software company, after like literally emptying my bank account to do that, um, I Ubered for 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 years straight to not just take care of my family, but all of my employees just to keep it in check until we got to the development phase. And then once that got done, now that wasn't enough, I'm already working 120 hours a week. So, hey, why don't you do a podcast? Take it to a whole nother level. So, yeah, I have this like insane desire to serve and help other people and um, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I just want to serve. So, so one of the things that I do that is I just continue to find different ways to do that. And so,
Is that your reality right now, John?
excuse me.
Is that something you're still doing right now, or is it something like you like over
No,
time?
yeah, at the time, yeah. So now I backed off. I like Uber to maintain my status. But I'm running, a big software company and now have more bandwidth to do other things. So I do, get back and do private coaching and speaking engagements and different things like that. And now doing a podcast, but still running the same number of hours. It's just dispersing my time in different areas instead of driving behind a car and doing pro bono coaching work for people in my backseat.
Mhm. Mhm. All right, I want to keep expanding and playing with this here. Let me bring everyone else in here. Pearl, Tanji, like what's coming up for you? What would you like to share?
Um, I always feel stretched because I have 3 kids. So
Hmm.
just trying to manage that, continuing running the whole household as it is, and also being successful in my career has been a huge transition because I used to be, I've had many different roles, but I used to be in the corporate world. Then I became a teacher, and John, just like you, my whole life has been like to give back, make an impact, and just that's what I live on. It's just those self-rewarding jobs that really give me energy. And so from then on, I decided to stop teaching and just have my kids and give 100% to my kids. And right now, currently, I have a 19, 17, and 13-year-old. And going
Mm.
all of a sudden from that full time being like carpool mom, doing volunteering, PTA, everything, to like, oh no, mom now is just working. She has a new passion. She's doing all this stuff. That was really hard. But so that kind of pressure on me to still not have anything change for my family, still make, homemade meals, be there for the games, be there for the activities, but try to work it's really hard. And it's like trying to have that limit to say like at 5 o'clock, I'm stopping working. That's been really challenging for me. Just setting up those boundaries and saying, no, like I'm not working on the weekend. I'm not working after 5. A lot of times it's like after I make dinner, clean up, take care of the kids, I kind of crawl back into my office and it's like, it'll be late. And then my husband will be like, what are you doing? Then it's like
Mhm.
the spouse too. So it's like, you're
Yeah.
just and all over, like, and everywhere, but you got to do. I wish the days were longer. I'm trying to learn and give myself compassion where it's kind of like, it's okay. Like whatever gets done for the day, it gets done. We're all human, right? Like if we stretch anymore, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I realized I made a face when you a bit when you said like I wish the days were longer because what I get about like outliers and like we're still getting to know each other, Pearl, is that like if there were longer days, there would just be more work to be done, and if there was just
Mhm.
like we already got 24 of them, and so I feel you all. I like so y'all, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on, and I'll also just say this, Pearl. Thank you right now for what you just said there. And the reason I said that is because I have two young kids right now, so they're 4 and they're 2 at the time of this recording, right? And a part of me is like, oh, okay, well, one day, uh, there'll be more time, there'll be more this, there'll be more that. I'm like, it actually comes down to like manage, like being with what's present and
Yes.
playing that out. And it's like it might just shift in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Pearl, when did you go back to work in this sense then, right? Yeah, how many years ago was that?
I think it started right before COVID. I
Yeah.
started looking into, because my kids were getting older and I kind of like panicked because you're just like, okay, now they don't need me anymore. What am I? Who am I? What's my purpose? And so I started looking into doing things for myself. And then COVID hit, obviously, then I had to stop again and just, the madness of
Yeah.
all that. And then right after COVID, I really just said, you know what, if it's now or never, I just dived into it. And as hard as it was, because it's never the right time. And that's my message to any mom, like any female out there trying to figure it all out. Like if you just keep waiting and say like there's never a best time to kind of do things for you that shine you and make you glow. And I just said, you know what? I can't wait. I'm not going to wait until the kids all go away to college. Like, this is my time. And so and I have to say, in this whole journey, my kids, especially I have 2 daughters that are older and my son is the youngest, they respect me so much more because they see what I do and they see all the sacrifices that I'm making and then what I'm doing. And I feel like as a female too, I'm being a role model for them because,
Yes.
realize that I'm kind of making boundaries and saying, no, mom has to work and this is what I like to do. And mom is actually a person and she has
Mhm.
needs and she has, interests and she's educated and she needs to do something with that. So it's kind of shifted that for all of them. And I feel like now they're respecting that a lot more and helping out someone in the house.
Mhm.
I'll take that. Thank you for that here. Thank you. Tanji, what's flowing up through you with any part of the conversation right now? It might be directly the question we had, or just maybe something new that's coming up for you.
Well, if you're talking about stretchiness, for me, I have a lot of hobbies outside of the whole mental health thing. My boyfriend currently gets on me now and tells me to stop buying books because I have so many self-help books on so many different categories. He's like, you need to read all your books before you buy anything else because you're buying so many. And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to stop. But outside of that, I'm very creative. Like when I was like 15 or 16, I started like a photography business. So I would take pictures for like friends and family. It was started as a hobby and then it kind of just like blew up. I kind of still do it here and there, but then after that, I currently right now I'm actually into crocheting. I love to work out. For me, I notice my mood is a lot better when I have a steady workout routine. So that's something I definitely like to do for
Yeah.
myself. And I've actually been learning Chinese for probably the past 2 years. I self-taught for 1 year and I'm going into my third year of having a tutor. And then before that, I was studying Korean for about 5 years.
So like Tanji, what I love about this is
Uh,
like the well-roundedness of it all, right? And like the more that you talk and I get to know you, the more I'm like, oh, um, let me see how it is. Um, it's like when you even brought up like the Korean, right? It's like at that point it was like no longer it was unexpected but not surprising. I think that's what it is. It was unexpected but like not
yeah,
surprising. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay. Like you like this is your world. This is how you go about and you navigate that. And I want to kind of bring that kind of element in to this conversation. The things about you that are like that may be unexpected to some people, but if they really knew you, wouldn't be surprising, right? What's something that you
yeah.
bring into your business, into the work that you do, into like into the things that you do on a day basis that like, you know, most people would like it wouldn't work for most of them. But for you, it works really well. It's like that thing that's just like, yeah, this is just like my own, like I'll call like an outlier advantage, like something that like I get to do that most other people, if they tried, wouldn't be able to wouldn't be able to get the results that I
Yeah.
get. You know, who John, let's start off with you officially this time.
Yeah, I'm smiling because I'm listening to Tanji and you're rattling off all the things that she's really good at, and I think that's kind of like my outlier thing too. It's like people, some people who don't really know me would say I'm complicated, and other people would say I'm complex, which is, and those are the people that really know me. But I have such a wide array of skills and talents and things like, and they don't correlate. It's like you do this and this. It's like that's weird, but you can do it, and I love that because I believe that it gives me the extra edge, especially when I was really hyper focused on my coaching practice. I had a wide range of things that happened to me and a variety of different non-related things. But because they all happened to me, that means I could just serve so many different people in a variety of different settings. And so I think the diversity and the complexity and all the things that I've been able to do, it's just given me the ability to be kind of a unicorn. So,
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because I think about I heard someone say what makes something rare isn't that like it's the only thing of it. It's actually the unique combination of things.
ooh, yeah, I like
It's
that. Yeah,
that's what makes it rare. It's like you can't get this and this
yeah,
anywhere else. And what I'm hearing from you is like it's like that's kind of me. I've had a ton of life experience. I'm interested in a lot of
yeah.
different things. You wouldn't expect to see this and this. I used to spend my time. My first career was as a retirement actuary, and people were like, "Wait, you're so social, but you're also like an actuary, like working on like you know insurance and retirement and like."
Mm,
I'm like, "Yeah, it's a combo that made sense there." But yeah, awesome.
interesting.
Let's keep playing here. Like, what's Pearl Tangi? What's one of the things about you that like most people wouldn't think it would work for them, but it works so well for you? Looks like you went for throw.
I mean, I do hot yoga. That has been my savior. Like
Mm,
I'm not a religious person, so I don't go to church or do any of that, but that's yoga studio is like everything to me. So there's been times in there that I've like through a really tough time. I've cried and nobody knows because you're sweating so much. So it's the perfect outlet. I have
okay.
really helped me shift myself if I need to. It's a great workout, and I've been doing it for over 20 years. But I like yoga, but I really like the hot yoga, and that's just like my favorite thing to do. Like that's like it's my non-negotiable. So, and a lot
Mm,
I have told a lot of people about it. There is like a limited amount of people, like my friends, they've tried it out. A few of them have loved it, and the rest of them are like, no way. It's gross.
mhm.
Everyone's sweating. I feel claustrophobic. I can't breathe. So it's not for everyone. And for the most part, usually people are like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how you can be in that kind of temperature and do an intense workout, but it works for me. So.
Mm.
Do you know how you can do both of them? Like I know it's happening. I'm curious about like, is there like what is it about Pearl that makes that like work so well?
What is it about the hot yoga
No,
or?
what is it about you that makes hot yoga work so well for you? Like, and
Oh,
there may be no correlation, but I found myself really curious. I was like, I wonder if like other people are experiencing it, but they're not able to get what you get from it.
I guess I'm very, I can meditate and I can really focus well, because you got to really focus and balance and be able, it's taken years of practice to kind of shut off the outside world and be able to focus on your position and your breathing and not worry so much about the temperature. And that's like a whole process to get to that point. So it's just the way my mind works. If I set my mind to something, I can really just go into it and not worry about anything else that's going on the outside, and just kind of letting go of the whole sweat concept. But I think that's the reason, because I think people go there with the mind frame of, oh my gosh, this is so gross, this person's so close to me and he just shook and his sweat fell on me. And they miss out on the main relaxing, work that you're doing on your mind, your body, and your soul. They're just too focused on that, all that sweat and stuff. So
I appreciate this. Thank you very much, bro. Like, I had a dance class once, and they did like 15 minutes of yoga in it, and I completely I was sweating, and it was not for the good thing. Like I was the only one. So like I haven't done yoga since. So like the fact that you take it to such heights, like I get to see that.
102 or 103 degrees, and sometimes you do, and the ones with the weights, the temperature's a little lower, but it's hot in there.
Yeah. It was also really interesting because like I'm like I could almost see like something like bringing in clients and having that experience with them, because I could hear the parallels of what you were saying, like the ability to like think about like be in a place where everything around you is falling apart. It's hot. There's flames. There's all these like things that feel like emergencies, and for you to still have that the ability to go in and focus on what needs to be focused on out of everything else that's going on, and get to that level of like clarity and conviction. I like. There's something in there that really like stands out for me. Like I don't want to do this, but it also seems like a superpower to be able to like navigate that, and that superpower seems pretty
So
cool.
powerful, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I like that.
Love it. Love it. Tanji, how about you? What's coming up for you?
Well, for me, I kind of already said the things, but if I could pick one of those, it would most likely be like the languages. When I was younger, I was really into anime, and of course, if you're like grow up like in the hood and stuff, especially with like being African American, at that time, people were just like, "Ew, like why are you watching that weird stuff?" And I'm just like, "Oh, well, like it's cool." Because at one point, I used to draw anime, and I really wanted to be a storyboard artist. And then I was watching Netflix, and then a Korean drama popped up. And I was like, oh, like, what's this? And once I started watching that, I was in love with the language. It just sounded so beautiful, the culture. Then I loved the music. And I was like, oh, I really want to learn this language. And then I transitioned into Chinese. And I have friends in those countries. I have a friend that recently just moved to Korea to be an English teacher. So hopefully one day I definitely plan to visit her. Like I just want to be able to communicate with other people like outside of the US. And these aren't the only
That's
two
awesome.
languages I plan on learning. I definitely plan on to learn more. My goal is to be a polyglot, but I know that's going to take some time.
Yeah. I love this. I love this element here because like as we're talking here, like it's cool for me because I get to see each of you in different ways and start to see like how you all leverage your strengths to be able to create something really awesome, right? And to put yourself in the positions of it. You brought up anime, Tanji, and there's an anime growing up called Dragon Ball Z, and there was one that like, and one of the things I loved about that was I remember it decades later. One of the characters came in, and at a certain point in the show, he just always stayed powered up. And he's like, I don't need to go down a level anymore. Like, what if I could always show up at like my highest level? And that like that to me has been like, but when I think about outliers, when I think about the work that we do here, it's like most other people are like, well, why don't you just go relax? I'm like, I could, but like, how much stronger would I be if I'm able to stay like and learn how to withstand at like going through life with this like this enhanced sense of self or whatever it is, right? So like it's cool that you bring that in. You got me thinking in many different ways here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, do you mind if we expand on that right there? Because
please.
I think the understanding that life is better when you're continually in expansion mode is so amazing. And for me, that is been kind of my secret sauce, my superpower, whatever, is just always be in expansion. And when I'm there, I feel like I'm always at that level and then going up. I'm never starting back at a lower level because of that consistency of always wanting to be another version of myself. And I don't know how that is for Pearl or you or Tanji, but for me, that's my superpower, and I love that concept.
Don, I would like to add on to that. I completely agree with you. My whole thing is I always try to tell everyone too, and even with my clients, that if you are always in the mindset of growing and just learning, it is your superpower. And when Tanji said she reads a lot of self-help books, oh my gosh, I am right there with you. I love books in general, but the self-help books are amazing. And if you find a few that really make a difference, I mean, they just become your everything. It's like I have those books that are on my nightstand and I have them highlighted and I have little stickies. And whenever I'm having a bad day or something is going on, I'm like, okay, I need to read that section one more time to remind myself. I feel like when you stop learning, like I think we need to be students all the time. Like I strive on that. I try to teach that to my kids too. As long as we are all as humans learning and growing and educating ourselves, I mean, that is our superpower. It's when we stop and we just become closed-minded and we don't want to grow anymore and we're just, set on being in the same spot that we are, or same role or whatever. I mean, you can be the most educated and have tons of different degrees, but you still need to keep growing, right? That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things that struck me when you just said that is when I first started coaching, if somebody could fog a mirror, could breathe oxygen, I'd take them on as a client. And then I discovered that that was detrimental to my health, my well-being, my emotional stability, and different things like that. And then I went to kind of doing a really exhaustive intake. But the where I landed is that I want to teach the teachable, and in order to do that, I can't be a hypocrite, and so I daily have to expand and be teachable so that I can lead by example. So so thanks for stretching me and reminding me of my own mission.
I definitely agree with both of you guys are saying, especially with like the be teachable. I'm also too a parent. I do have a 10-year-old son. Well, will be 10-year-old son.
Oh,
And
wow.
I remember growing up, I really didn't have too many boundaries. Like I kind of just used to let everyone walk all over me and even like well into my 20s. And when I had my son, I was determined, like, okay, I need you to learn to have boundaries, like from the door. Like, if you don't want to do something, somebody wants you to do something that you're not really into, you tell them, no, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not allowed to say that. And what cracks me up is that recently he went to my friend's house and she tells me all the time, she said, your son is like a little man. Like he's telling her, like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have this furniture here. It's making your room small. And oh, well, my mom has an extra couch. She can give it to you. And oh, well, the kids shouldn't be changing out here. They should go in the room and
Mhm.
change. Like, I just love how self-assured he is of himself. He's very confident, outspoken, respectfully. Sometimes he can get a little out of, but very
Mhm.
respectful. And I see the best parts of what I could have been in him, and that just makes my whole day.
Well, one of the things that popped up to me over this whole call is that every one of you have children that are younger than me. And I want to encourage you to know that you're going to be able to expand even more because of the time freedom that you get. I mean, you're literally accountable and responsible for. I was three elite athletes that were just bringing me all over the country. And so not only doing that, but then being an entrepreneur and coach and all that other stuff, I just like, where was my time? You know, and I'm already a hard driver, but then when they left, it was like, oh, I gotta schedule an appointment with them to go out to dinner or go on vacation or anything like that. It's so harsh. But anyways, I want to encourage you that you actually get more time, but cherish the time that you do have with the children. It's amazing.
So I'm gonna like y'all just take me to a heart space. I think I wanna stay, and I'm gonna like leave it on that here. Let's wrap up this conversation a bit, and as we do that, I'm gonna go to you, outliers here. And outliers, I have a request of you. In each episode, we ask that you share this out with your world. Let people know about the conversation that was here, and we would really appreciate that. But underneath that, there's another level too that we have. We call it the one person, one conversation at a time initiative. And it's just this deep belief here where it's like the actual impact of this is one thing that's going to be reaching people from a volume perspective, but it's another thing about like the actual impact. And I feel like the impact would really be strong if you could think of one person in your life who would benefit from hearing the conversation that John, Pearl, and Tanji had today, and let them know. Send it to them with intention as a gift. Say, hey, I was listening to this, and the conversation that took place made me think of you. So I wanted to share this with you. There's something in there where I just feel like that in and of itself will be like it will make all the impact that's necessary. And please share it out in your larger profiles. But if you're thinking of someone, if someone's calling you, like it's my ask that you make that connection and you share it over. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. It would mean the absolute world to me. So now we're going to wrap up our conversation, y'all. And the way that we do this is that I want to have outliers have the best way to go deeper down the journey with you, and for you to also share some insight that you got from the conversation. Take something you're going to walk away with this conversation with. Outliers are taken care of, so like this is not like hey, like give them one last thing to take home. Like they're good. They got what they needed at this point in the conversation. I'm really curious about for you as we wrap up our space together. What's something that you're going to be walking away from? And if there's nothing, no insight that you got, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and share that. Okay. All right, cool. So why don't we start with you, Tanji? Like, let us know about the way that we can like go deeper in the journey with you and an insight that you got, if any.
Deeper with me. I do have a podcast. It's called Sincerely Tanj, sincerely spelled the way it is, and Tanj, Tanj. Something I pull away from this is because Pearl is into manifestation, like I am also. When I heard her say that, it really touched me. I said, "Oh, she's one of those." It's more so like how she said to just kind of just be positive and to just see yourself where it's where exactly you want to be. And with me switching my career with like my jobs and stuff and stepping into a field that I know have some experience in, but not a whole lot. But to me, I'm already seeing myself at the end. And I'm just like, this is just a small step to get to where it is I'm trying to get. It's going to be scary, but just keep moving because you're already going to get there.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that there. Why don't we come to you, John? Why don't you share with us how people can go deeper down the journey with you, the best way for
Sure.
them to do that, and then an insight you got from today's conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a couple things. Number one, you can come onto my new podcast, Your Brand, Your Rules. You can scan the QR code here and get all my contact information, johnpitlick.me. That's how you can find me and reach me with anything. Love to have a free consultation with anybody. What I got out of this, it was a lot, but one of the major takeaways was confirmation of where I was going. I'd spend a lot of time leading and coaching, but it's a lot of inner circle stuff. Um, but I feel where I do my best work is when I'm in a community like this, when I'm being stretched and I'm like being able to contribute in just free flow. I feel more comfortable. Like even on my podcast, I started off by doing a solo episode and then doing a tribute to Jim Rohn, and now I'm going to start interviewing people. But I actually think that this is more my style, where I can free flow and go off it. So thank you for revealing that to me, and thank you for your contribution, everybody in this call, because it just was it's a great environment. I love the community so far. So thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you for playing the way that you play it and to take out all the opportunities that are available for you.
Yeah.
Uh, and then Pearl, why don't you bring us home for today?
Okay, so for me, you can find me. I have my podcast. It's female, and then the second word is fluence, kind of like influence, but it's FLUNCE. And then you can find me. I'm very active on Instagram, so that's just Pearl Mashour _female fluence. I would love to hear from anyone, or if anyone is interested on being a guest, there's a form that you can fill out on my website. But besides that, thank you so much for inviting me to be on your show. And it's been great to hang out with John and Tanji and learning more about you guys. I think one of the things for me was when John said about the teachable, like making sure that you are with clients or with people that really want to learn and grow, because sometimes people are not in that stage yet, and it's no matter what you do and all of the hard work that you put in, you're not going to get anywhere with them. So until they're ready, and I thought that was really key. And I really like this open platform. I thought it was really a good way. And I too like, the networking and being in a good, comfortable community where we're kind of striving to make an impact and make a difference. So I thought this was really nice today.
Well, I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of all this here. Like I had an idea one day, and I was like, oh, what if, and y'all just kept showing up. So thank you for the way that you play. I'm deeply honored to get to know you, and I'm excited for how we all grow together from here. All right. All right. With that being said, outliers, remember this. Till the next time we talk, be you on purpose. Journey on.